Good morning. You're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting this edition of News on the Hour, a program we get for you every day to make sure you keep yourself abreast with everything that is making it to the headlines. We'll keep you covered for the next 1 hour. Make sure that you get to know everything that's making it to the headlines and also to keep you engaged. Stay with us for the next 1 hour. We get to the top stories first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit his parliamentary constituency Varanasi today. He will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of projects worth more than 1,500 crore rupees, including an international convention centre, a 100-bed mother and child hospital wing in BHU and other infrastructural and tourism development projects. The Skill India mission of Government of India completes 6 years today. Launched on the World Youth Skills Day in 2015, the mission aims at imparting useful skills to a large number of youth with scale, speed and high standards. Prime Minister will address youth of the nation on the occasion. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses landmark milestone of 39 crore. Recovery rate increases to 97.28%. Daily positivity rate at 2.15% is now less than 3% for 24 consecutive days. Gujarat resumes classes in colleges and 12th standard with 50% occupancy. Maharashtra too resumes offline classes for classes 8 to 12 in non-COVID zones. And in international news, Afghan Taliban captures an important border point with Pakistan. The seized Wesh Chaman crossing is a major trade route between southwest Afghanistan and Pakistani seaports. Taliban takeover forces Pakistan to seal part of the border. All right, those are the top stories. Let's get to the news in detail now. We begin with the national headlines first. In a major push to healthcare infrastructure and facilities, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Mother and Child Hospital at Banaras Hindu University on his visit to Varanasi today. Up next, we take a look at this ground report from our correspondent Arun Sharma explaining the importance of this hospital for Kashi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his visit to his parliamentary constituency Varanasi on Thursday will inaugurate slew of projects. To boost the healthcare infrastructure in the city, PM will inaugurate a 100-bed model maternal and child health wing at BHU.
In this, we are creating a facility of about 30 ICU beds and then remaining ESDU beds in this. And since we know this is the only tertiary care hospital in this region, so the lot depends upon the Banaras Hindu University and the facility in the SS hospital to tackle the COVID third wave.
Maternal and child health wing at BHU has been constructed at an estimated cost of 45 crore rupees. There are 100 beds including 30 NICU, 30 HDU and 40 specialized mother care units. The mother-child wing is equipped with 3 operation theatres. There is a library, lecture hall, skill development lab and seminar hall in the hospital.
ये बिल्डिंग MCH बिल्डिंग बनाई गई थी जिसमें कि 100 बेड की सुविधा है. इसमें हमारे पास नीकू तकरीबन 40 बेड हैं और मैटरनल केयर के लिए हाई डिपेंडेंसी यूनिट्स बनी हुई हैं. ये सभी सुविधाओं से सुसज्जित है. इसमें बच्चों के लिए वार्मर्स भी हैं, हमारे पास अल्ट्रासाउंड मशीन्स भी हैं, हमारे पास आईसीयू केयर की सारी फैसिलिटीज वेंटिलेटर्स के साथ में है. यहाँ पे वन स्टॉप शॉप है, हर तरीके की सुविधा उपलब्ध है. मरीज यहाँ पर जैसे ही आएगा उसको इमीडिएटली रिसीव करके उसकी डायग्नोसिस करके उसको रिस्पेक्टिव यूनिट्स के अंदर, वार्ड्स के अंदर, इसी बिल्डिंग के अंदर भेज दिया जाएगा.
The mother and child healthcare facility at Banaras Hindu University is equipped with all the modern healthcare infrastructure. Well, under the PM Cares Fund, these ventilators have been installed in the ICU of the mother and child care facility. Now generally the ventilators are huge and bulky in size, but this is a portable ventilator and it is also very economic, and this can be moved from one place to another very easily. And all the vital parameters of the patients can be monitored via this tablet, whereby a record can be kept of the patient's important parameters online as well. So this kind of infrastructure or modern healthcare facilities primarily will give a major push to the healthcare support system of Varanasi.
The foundation stone of the maternal and child health wing was laid by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2017. This hospital is funded by the state government under the National Health Mission. This hospital will help in reducing maternal and perinatal mortality rate and will improve maternal and newborn healthcare in Varanasi.
Health for all is the mantra of Narendra Modi-led government. Government is focusing upon boosting the healthcare infrastructure not only in big cities but also in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Amidst the COVID pandemic, this modern mother and child care facility will ensure quality and accessible health for all. With camera person Saurabh, Arun Sharma for Doordarshan News, Varanasi.
Alright, so that was the detailed report wherein our correspondent told us how important this hospital, this mother and child hospital, the BHU, will be for Kashi. Also, the Prime Minister will be inaugurating many developmental projects, other developmental projects also in Varanasi today, and that also includes Rudraksh Convention Center that has been set up along with assistance from Japan. Now, this is another feather in the cap when we talk of India-Japan relationships, and also this in itself is an infrastructural marvel, if you could say, and it has a very unique setup, a unique architectural marvel, if you could say. And also our correspondents in the morning joined us and they told us how this is another symbol of how India and Japan ties have progressed, and how the relationship is always striving for betterment ahead, and also how promising it looks. Also, when we talk of this hospital, this will be a 100-bed mother-child hospital in BHU, and this will prove to be a milestone ahead for not only the people in Kashi and around that area, but also for the entire nation. And also this will take forward the Prime Minister's ambition of health for all, affordable health for all, that is to be taken forward to the people. All right, at present our correspondent Arun Sharma is joining us to talk more about it. Arun, we showed your detailed report to our viewers wherein the report tells us about how important would this hospital prove to be for the people in Kashi. You spared more details, when we talk of providing affordable health for all to the masses, the Prime Minister's vision. How far will it help in fulfilling it?
So when we talk about Varanasi, it is becoming a big city now. It has become an international destination as well for foreign tourists as well. So healthcare facility is an important subject when we talk about overall development of any kind of city. The focus of this government in last 7 years we have seen is on affordable healthcare systems, providing primary, secondary, tertiary healthcare systems in the country. And when we talk about Varanasi, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi he arrived in Varanasi, the main focus will be the convention center, Rudraksh, that he will inaugurate. The project was 1,500 crore rupees. That is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to either Devi Foundation store for, or he is inaugurating these projects. These projects include rural services, multi-level parking, and important subsidiary of course the mother and child wing in the BHU of Varanasi University. Now this hospital is worth 45 crore rupees. And we know this fact, Preeti, that interestingly, this hospital was, the foundation laying ceremony happened, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi did Devi Foundation store of this hospital, and he is inaugurating this hospital today. When we talk about the details of this hospital, Preeti, as far as mother mortality ratio and infant mortality ratios are concerned, this hospital is going to play an important role in bringing these ratios down. So in the last 7 years, the focus of the government has been to reduce the mother mortality ratio and infant mortality ratio by providing better healthcare infrastructure, affordable and accessible healthcare facilities, which more. So in that context, the hospital is going to play an important role. Pretty interestingly, when we talk about the PM CARES Fund as well, now as the PM CARES Fund is concerned, various ventilator support were given to various hospitals in tier 2 town and tier 3 towns and in big cities as well. When we talk about this mother-child wing of mother and child hospital in Varanasi, under the PM CARES Fund, the ventilator support has also been given over here. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi today will be inaugurating this hospital, will be inspecting the hospital, and will be trying to, and will also be interacting with the medical professionals and try to know that how was their experience as far as this first peak and second peak are concerned of the COVID pandemic, and amidst the COVID pandemic, if in case the cases rise once again, how well prepared is the pediatric infrastructure in Varanasi? How well prepared is the neonatal healthcare infrastructure in Varanasi? So all this will be reviewed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today.
All right, Tarun, the Prime Minister will be reviewing all this and also more in Varanasi today. And also we tell our viewers that the Prime Minister will be also inaugurating Rudraksh International Convention Centre. Now, to talk more about it, our correspondent Vishal Baristo is joining us. Vishal, let us know how important is this infrastructure marvel when we talk of India-Japan relations, taking that forward. Added to that also, let us know how is this convention center different from other centers and, talk more about it. Vishal, am I audible? Vishal, am I audible? Vishal, if you can hear me, let us know how is this convention center different from the other centers and talk more about the architectural expertise that has gone behind the construction of this convention center. Vishal, am I audible? Vishal, yes. All right, Vishal, let us know more about this convention center. Tell us more about the architectural expertise that went behind its construction and also how far will it help in, how far is it a testimony to the India-Japan relations? Talk more about it.
Well, Preeti, this auditorium itself is a testimony, as you rightly said, because the foundation stone was laid 5 years ago when Shinzo Abe came to India, came to Varanasi along with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And today, this auditorium is ready. It's called the International Cooperation Convention Center. And the Japanese ambassador Satoshi Suzuki would also be there. He would be leading a delegation of 13 Japanese people and from various sectors of the industry, and they would be here as witness to this historic occasion. And I would ask my cameraman to first show you how beautifully it is decorated and how the Japanese culture is being reflected here. There you see the umbrellas, they are beautifully put in there. Colorful Japanese umbrellas. There you see, it is so beautifully done that it reflects the Japanese culture. It is there everywhere. And also we have outside the flags of India and Japan. I'll show you the flag up there, India and Japan, showing how beautifully it is done, and it is all proclaiming the strong bond between India and Japan. The red sun with the white background, as Japan is called land of rising sun. And this is the plaque that would be unveiled shortly when the Prime Minister is here. This is the plaque where I am standing. Now this auditorium is going to play a major role because it is not only an auditorium with a Japanese expertise and Japanese technique, but it is made in the shape of a Shiva Lingam. Kashi Vishwanath ki nagri hai, it is known world over, and 108 Rudraksh have also been placed on the facade of this auditorium, which Rudraksh means a teardrop of Shiva. And Varanasi is also known for Sarnath, and Sarnath, the center of a Buddhist seat. So Japan has a lot of affiliation with Varanasi. Now this is not only an auditorium, it would also serve as a trade center, it would serve as a place for film festivals, for different art and craft activities, but at the same time the space available outside the auditorium also provides people an opportunity to showcase their product, and stalls could be placed there, and people can have business over there. So in the long run, it is going to serve the economic activity not only for the Varanasi city, but also for Eastern UP and in all Uttar Pradesh, because Uttar Pradesh is fast coming up as an industrial hub. And Purvanchal, which was ignored for a very long time before Prime Minister became the parliamentarian from Varanasi, Varanasi was known only as a heritage city, but it was very dirty. But ever since the Prime Minister took over its seat,
beautification of the city,
sea change. Yes, in how
beautification of the city has been done and taken forward. Thank you so much, Vishal, for joining us with those inputs, and thanks to Arun also for those inputs. Those were our correspondents telling us more about the important inaugurations that have to be done by the Prime Minister. Apart from this, more developmental works will be inaugurated by the Prime Minister to the tune of 1,500 crore rupees. We'll keep you updated. The program will begin around 11 a.m. and we'll take you live there as well and also keep you updated. Also, the Skill India mission of Government of India is completing 6 years today. Launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 15th of July 2015, Skill India mission aims to train over 40 crore people in India in different skills by 2022. The mission aims at imparting vocational training and certification to youth with scale, speed and high standards for a better livelihood and respect in the society. Prime Minister will address the youth of the nation on the occasion. And a quick look at the COVID situation across the country. India continues to see a decline in the COVID cases. The country has registered 39.13 crore vaccine doses that have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. 41,806 daily new cases in the last 24 hours have been reported, which are the lowest in the last 101 days. India's active caseload declines to 4,32,041, which is the lowest in the last 101 days. Also, active cases constitute just 1.39% of the total cases. Over 3.01 crore recoveries have been made so far across the country, out of which over 39,130 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. With this, the recovery rate has increased to 97.28%. Weekly positivity rate continues to remain below 5% and currently stands at 2.21%. The daily positivity rate currently stands at 2.15%, which is less than 3% for 24th consecutive day. Testing capacity substantially has been ramped up with 43.8 crore tests conducted so far. In Gujarat, schools for class 12, colleges and technical institutions reopened from today with 50% attendance in line with all COVID-19 related protocols such as wearing of masks, social distancing, regular sanitization, etc. However, physical attendance is not mandatory and authorities at schools, colleges and technical institutions will have to obtain the permission of parents if students are asked to attend in person. On July 8, the government lifted the night curfew in 10 out of 18 urban areas in Gujarat and allowed the resumption of coaching classes for students of classes 9th to postgraduate courses along with competitive exams with 50% attendance. In Maharashtra, schools reopened from today in those areas where no active COVID-19 case has been reported in the last month. The schools have been allowed to resume offline classes for students of classes 8 to 12th. Before the commencement of school, corona vaccination of all teachers and non-teaching staff in the respective schools has been done on priority. The schools have been instructed to strictly abide by the COVID-19 safety guidelines and protocols laid down by the state government. The Union Ministry of Home Affairs has requested states and union territories to direct all police stations under their jurisdiction not to register cases under the repealed Section 66A of the Information Technology Act 2000. It has also asked the states and union territories to sensitize law enforcement agencies for compliance of the order issued by Supreme Court on 24th of March 2015. The MHA has also requested that if any case has been booked in states and union territories under 66A of the IT Act 2000, such cases should be immediately be withdrawn. The Supreme Court in its judgment on March 24, 2015 in the matter of Shreya Singhal versus Union of India had struck down Section 66A of the IT Act 2000. This made Section 66A of the Act null and void with effect from the date of order, and hence no action could be taken under this section. The Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, met for the first time in the offline mode yesterday after its rejigging a week ago. Several approvals were granted, which will not only benefit the rural economy but also bring much needed relief to government employees and pensioners. The Union Cabinet hiked dearness allowance to central government employees and dearness relief to pensioners. DA and DR both were hiked to 28% with effect from July 1st, 2021. DA and DR increased by 11% over existing rate of 17% of basic pay or pension. 3 additional installments of DA and DR due from 1st of January 2020, July 1st, 2020 and January 1st, 2021 had been frozen due to the pandemic. Hiked DA and DR reflect additional installments arising on 1st of January 2020, July 1st, 2020 and January 1st, 2021. DA and DR rate for period between January 1st last year and June 30th this year will remain at 17%. The hikes will benefit 48.34 lakh central government employees and 65.26 lakh pensioners. The government will have to bear an economic burden of over 34,000 crore rupees to pay the hikes. In another important decision, the Union Cabinet approved the continuation of the National Ayush Mission from 1st of April this year to March 31st, 2026. The decision will have a financial implication of 4,607.3 crore rupees. The approval will help in the establishment of 12,500 Ayush health and wellness centers nationwide. 6 new Ayush medical colleges and other Ayush facilities will also be expanded. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar concluded his Dushanbe trip today with a bilateral meeting with Tajik Foreign Minister Sirojuddin Muhyiddin. While thanking him for his hospitality and consideration, the External Affairs Minister said that the two sides agreed that the strategic partnership between India and Tajikistan is even more relevant in the coming times. Earlier, India once again reiterated to China that unilateral change of status quo along the LAC is not acceptable. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar had a bilateral meeting with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi on the sidelines of SCO Foreign Ministers meet. The two ministers had a detailed exchange of views on the current situation along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh and also other issues related to overall India-China relations. Recalling their last meeting in Moscow in September 2020, the External Affairs Minister emphasized on the need to follow through on the agreement reached then and also complete the disengagement, resolving the remaining issues along the LAC in eastern Ladakh at the earliest. The External Affairs Minister pointed out to State Councillor that successful disengagement in Pangong Lake area earlier this year had created conditions for resolving the remaining issues. It was expected that the Chinese side would work with us towards this objective. The minister noted that, however, the situation in the remaining areas is still unresolved. He recalled that both sides had agreed that a prolongation of the existing situation was not in the interest of either sides. It was visibly impacting the relationship in a negative manner. Assessing the overall relationship, External Affairs Minister emphasized that maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border areas has been the foundation for development of the ties since 1988. The attempts to change status quo last year that also disregarded commitments under 1993 and 1996 agreements have inevitably affected the ties. He emphasized that it was therefore in mutual interest that the two sides work towards early resolution of the remaining issues along the LAC in eastern Ladakh, while fully abiding by bilateral agreements and protocols. The two ministers noted the agreement between both sides in the last meeting of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on 25th of June this year to hold another round of meeting of senior military commanders. They agreed that this should be convened at the earliest. They also agreed that the two sides should discuss all the remaining issues and seek a mutually acceptable solution. There was also an understanding that both sides will continue to ensure stability on the ground and neither sides will take any unilateral action that could increase tension. The two ministers agreed to remain in touch. Dr. Jaishankar was in Dushanbe to present the Indian view at Shanghai Cooperation Organization Foreign Ministers Contact Group meeting on Afghanistan at Dushanbe. Combating terrorism and extremism is the key purpose of this forum, and it must take concrete steps to stop terror financing urgently. This was the clear message from India to the SCO member states, even as the group hurdled to find a way out of the deteriorating security situation in Afghanistan. The External Affairs Minister said that the challenge is to act seriously and sincerely on these beliefs, adding that there are forces at work which have a very different agenda. India also made it clear that the world is against seizure of power by violence and force, and any such act will not legitimize such actions. The SCO Council of Foreign Ministers has completed 20 years. External Affairs Minister said that this is an opportune time to reflect on achievements and deliberate on changes. Uzbekistan's capital Tashkent will be hosting the SCO conference Central and South Asia, Regional Interconnectedness, Challenges and Opportunities. The conference that is slated to happen today and continue tomorrow as well. The themes include security and connectivity. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will represent India at the SCO conference.
ये सम्मेलन उज़्बेकिस्तान में हो रहा है, ताशकंद में। उज़्बेकिस्तान की सरकार एक ऐसा सम्मेलन करवा रही है काफ़ी दिनों के बाद, जिसमें वो मध्य एशिया और दक्षिण एशिया इनके बीच में कैसे कनेक्टिविटी, क्या संबंध रहेंगे और इस कनेक्टिविटी से जुड़े हुए क्या प्रश्न हैं, जैसे कि क्या सांस्कृतिक इतिहास रहा है, संस्कृति और इतिहास में हम कैसे एक दूसरे से संबंधित रहे हैं, जुड़े रहे हैं, आज की समस्याएं क्या हैं, रीजनल थ्रेट्स क्या हैं, चैलेंजेस क्या हैं, इसके बारे में ये सम्मेलन है और कई देशों के प्रतिनिधि यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं। बहुत खुशी की बात है कि भारत से हमारे माननीय विदेश मंत्री डॉक्टर जयशंकर हमारा प्रतिनिधित्व करेंगे।
Representatives of Russia, Iran, Pakistan, China, the US and the European Union are to participate in the meet. India has been seeking alternate land and sea routes to connect with landlocked Afghanistan, especially since tense ties with Pakistan has resulted in no direct overland route to Afghanistan. Indian Ambassador to Uzbekistan, Manish Prabhat, stressed on the importance of the conference and what are India's expectations from the high-level visit.
इंडिया सेंट्रल एशिया डायलॉग जो कि विदेश मंत्रियों के स्तर पर होता है, उसके इस डायलॉग के 2 एडिशंस हो चुके हैं अभी तक। इस प्लेटफॉर्म के जरिए भी जो पांचों मध्य एशिया के जो 5 देश हैं, भारत और अफगानिस्तान, सभी के विदेश मंत्री एक साथ मिलकर बैठते हैं और कनेक्टिविटी के विषय पे इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे भी बात हुई है। तो हम चाहते हैं कि एक ऐसा हमारे पास ओवरलैंड कनेक्टिविटी बने, सरफेस कनेक्टिविटी, जिसके चलते हमारा व्यापार बढ़े और खासकर चाबहार का जो बंदरगाह है ईरान में, जिसको विकसित करने के लिए भारत ने बहुत कुछ किया है। हम चाहते हैं कि चाबहार के बंदरगाह के जरिए हमारा ये कनेक्टिविटी का सिलसिला बने मध्य एशिया के देशों से और इससे हमारा व्यापार बढ़ेगा।
Meanwhile, according to sources, in context of the ongoing unrest in some parts of South Africa, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar yesterday spoke to Foreign Minister of South Africa, Dr. Naledi Pandor. It was a cordial and open conversation as the two leaders know each other personally. Separately, Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs Sanjay Bhattacharya also met High Commissioner of South Africa to India, Joel Sibisu Nedbell. Also, South African side assured that their government was doing its utmost to enforce law and order, and also asserted that early restoration of normalcy and peace was its overriding priority. They expected the situation to improve soon. Up next, regarding reports of arson and looting against Indians and Indian origin South Africans, the South African side conveyed that opportunistic elements were taking advantage of the situation to engage in looting and violence, as had been highlighted by President Ramaphosa in his address to the nation on July 12th. They emphasized that the ongoing events were criminal in nature and not politically or racially motivated. Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat reached Jammu yesterday and reviewed the situation post the twin drone attacks on Indian Air Force Base at Satwari, Jammu in the wee hours on June 27th. General Rawat met top commanders and reviewed the situation and steps being taken to thwart the drone strikes in future. It may be mentioned here that following the drone strikes on the Indian Air Force Base, Jammu, the number of drones was spotted over military installations as well as international border. Vaishno Devi Shrine Board has made it mandatory for all pilgrims to carry a negative COVID-19 report. Devotees planning for undertaking the pilgrimage of Vaishno Devi Shrine are advised to carry along a valid and verifiable negative RT-PCR report 48 hours prior from a recognized testing facility for entry into the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And up next, we go live across to Prime Minister Modi's address on the occasion of 6 years of Skill India mission of Government of India.
नमस्कार। विश्व युवा कौशल दिवस पर सभी युवा साथियों को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। दूसरी बार है जब कोरोना महामारी के बीच हम ये दिवस मना रहे हैं। इस वैश्विक महामारी की चुनौतियों ने वर्ल्ड यूथ स्किल डे की अहमियत को कई गुना बढ़ा दिया है। एक और बात जो महत्वपूर्ण है वो ये कि हम इस समय अपनी आजादी के 75 वर्ष का पर्व मना रहे हैं। 21वीं सदी में पैदा हुए आज के युवा भारत की विकास यात्रा को आजादी के 100 वर्ष तक आगे बढ़ाने वाले हैं। इसलिए नई पीढ़ी के युवाओं का स्किल डेवलपमेंट एक राष्ट्रीय जरूरत है। आत्मनिर्भर भारत का बहुत बड़ा आधार है। बीते 6 वर्षों में जो आधार बना, जो नए संस्थान बने, उसकी पूरी ताकत जोड़कर हमें नए सिरे से स्किल इंडिया मिशन को गति देनी ही है। साथियों, जब कोई समाज स्किल को महत्व देता है तो समाज की अपस्किलिंग भी होती है, उन्नति भी होती है। दुनिया इस बात को बखूबी जानती भी है, लेकिन भारत की सोच इससे भी 2 कदम आगे की रही है। हमारे पूर्वजों ने स्किल्स को महत्व देने के साथ ही उन्होंने इसे सेलिब्रेट किया, स्किल्स को समाज के उल्लास का हिस्सा बना दिया। आप देखिए, हम विजयादशमी को शस्त्र पूजन करते हैं, अक्षय तृतीया को किसान फसल की कृषि यंत्रों की पूजा करते हैं, भगवान विश्वकर्मा की पूजा तो हमारे देश में हर स्किल, हर शिल्प से जुड़े लोगों के लिए बहुत बड़ा पर्व रहा है। हमारे यहां शास्त्रों में निर्देश दिया गया है, विवाह दिशु यज्ञशु गृह आराम विधायके सर्व कर्मसु संपूज्यो विश्वकर्मा इति श्रुतम। अर्थात विवाह हो, गृह प्रवेश हो या कोई और यज्ञ कार्य, सामाजिक कार्य हो, इसमें भगवान विश्वकर्मा की पूजा, उनका सम्मान जरूर किया जाना चाहिए। विश्वकर्मा की पूजा यानी समाज जीवन में अलग अलग रचनात्मक कार्य करने वाले हमारे विश्वकर्माओं का सम्मान, स्किल का सम्मान। लकड़ी के कारीगर, मेटल्स का काम करने वाले, सफाई कर्मी, बगीचे की सुंदरता बढ़ाने वाले माली, मिट्टी के बर्तन बनाने वाले कुम्हार, हाथ से कपड़ा बुनने वाले बुनकर साथी, ऐसे कितने ही लोग हैं जिन्हें हमारी परंपरा ने विशेष सम्मान दिया है। महाभारत के भी एक श्लोक में कहा गया है, विश्वकर्मा नमस्तेस्तु विश्वात्मा विश्व संभव। अर्थात जिनके कारण विश्व में सब कुछ संभव होता है, उस विश्वकर्मा को नमस्कार है। विश्वकर्मा को विश्वकर्मा कहा ही इसलिए जाता है क्योंकि उनके काम के बिना, स्किल्स के बिना समाज का अस्तित्व ही असंभव है। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से गुलामी के लंबे कालखंड में स्किल डेवलपमेंट की व्यवस्था हमारे सोशल सिस्टम में, हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम में धीरे धीरे कमजोर पड़ती गई। साथियों, एजुकेशन अगर हमें यह जानकारी देती है कि हमें क्या करना है, तो स्किल हमें सिखाती है कि वो काम वास्तविक स्वरूप में कैसे होगा। देश का स्किल इंडिया मिशन इसी सच्चाई, इसी जरूरत के साथ कदम से कदम मिलाने का अभियान है। मुझे खुशी है कि प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना के माध्यम से अब तक 1.25 करोड़ से अधिक युवाओं को ट्रेनिंग दी जा चुकी है। साथियों, मैं एक और वाक्य के बारे में आपको बताना चाहता हूं। एक बार स्किल डेवलपमेंट को लेकर काम कर रहे कुछ अफसर मुझे मिले। मैंने उनसे कहा कि आप इस दिशा में इतना काम कर रहे हैं, क्यों ना आप ऐसे स्किल्स की एक लिस्ट बनाइए जिनकी हम अपने जीवन में सेवाएं लेते हैं। आपको हैरानी होगी, जब उन्होंने सरसरी नजर से लिस्टिंग की तो ऐसी 900 से ज्यादा स्किल निकली जिनकी हमें अपनी आवश्यकताओं के लिए जरूरत होती है। आप अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं कि स्किल डेवलपमेंट का काम कितना बड़ा है। आज ये जरूरी है कि लर्निंग आपकी अर्निंग के साथ ही रुके नहीं। आज दुनिया में स्किल्स की इतनी डिमांड है कि जो स्किल होगा वही ग्रो करेगा। ये बात व्यक्तियों पर भी लागू होती है और देश पर भी लागू होती है। दुनिया के लिए एक स्मार्ट और स्किल्ड मैन पावर सॉल्यूशंस भारत दे सके, ये हमारे नौजवानों की स्किलिंग स्ट्रेटजी के मूल में होना चाहिए। इसको देखते हुए ग्लोबल स्किल गैप की मैपिंग जो कि की जा रही है वो प्रशंसनीय कदम है। इसलिए हमारे युवाओं के लिए स्किलिंग, रीस्किलिंग और अपस्किलिंग का मिशन अनवरत चलते रहना चाहिए। बड़े बड़े एक्सपर्ट्स आज अनुमान लगा रहे हैं कि जिस तरह तेजी से टेक्नोलॉजी बदल रही है, आने वाले 3-4 वर्षों में बहुत बड़ी संख्या में लोगों को रीस्किलिंग की जरूरत पड़ेगी। इसके लिए भी हमें देश को तैयार करना होगा और कोरोना काल में ही हम सबने स्किल्स और स्किल्ड वर्कफोर्स की अहमियत को बहुत करीब से देखा है, महसूस किया है। देश कोरोना से इतनी प्रभावी लड़ाई लड़ सका तो इसमें भी हमारी स्किल्ड वर्कफोर्स का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। साथियों, बाबा साहब आंबेडकर ने युवाओं की, कमजोर वर्ग की स्किलिंग पर बहुत जोर दिया था। आज स्किल इंडिया के जरिए देश बाबा साहब के इस दूरदर्शी स्वप्न को पूरा करने के लिए भरसक प्रयास कर रहा है। उदाहरण के तौर पर आदिवासी समाज के लिए देश ने गोइंग ऑनलाइन एज लीडर्स यानी गोल प्रोग्राम शुरू किया है। ये प्रोग्राम पारंपरिक स्किल के क्षेत्रों जैसे ये आर्ट हो, कल्चर हो, हैंडीक्राफ्ट हो, टेक्सटाइल हो, इनमें आदिवासी भाई बहनों की डिजिटल लिटरेसी और स्किल में मदद करेगा, उनमें एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलप करेगा। इसी तरह वनधन योजना की भी आज आदिवासी समाज को नए अवसरों से जोड़ने का एक प्रभावी माध्यम बन रही है। हमें आने वाले समय में इस तरह के अभियानों को और ज्यादा व्यापक बनाना है। स्किल के जरिए खुद को और देश को आत्मनिर्भर बनाना है। इन्हीं शुभकामनाओं के साथ आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
So that was Prime Minister Narendra Modi's message on the occasion of Skill India mission completing 6 years today. In his message, the Prime Minister talked of important points. He said that Skill India is completing 6 years today, and he said that the importance of skill becomes all the more important and relevant in today's times. Education teaches us what to do, but it is skill that tells us how the work has to be done practically. He also referred to Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana that has benefited more than a crore, that is close to 1 crore 25 lakh youth, and he also said learning should continue with earning. He also talked of how skilled persons can grow in today's time, be it individuals or the nation as a whole. Skilling, reskilling and upskilling was also mentioned by the Prime Minister, and how that has to be taken forward and it should continue taking place. Going online as leaders was one program which was mentioned by the Prime Minister for the tribals to ensure skill development for them, and he also said a number of other measures have been taken to ensure skill development in the country that would eventually lead to Atmanirbharta of the nation. With that, we'll wrap up here. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.